everyone, this is Howard Chung. I'm very excited to bring you a series of videos specifically on the GPS home search app. I know there's been a lot of questions and to a degree some confusion regarding the app, so I think this set of videos will really help clarify a lot of the strategies and specific tactics on how to use the app. But before we go into the how, episode 1, which I'm calling the game changer, is really about the why. So if you're watching this, I'm really excited to talk to you about the importance of what's happening in the industry and why the mobile app is so important for our business moving into the future. So most of us have watched the Super Bowl this past year, and a lot of us have seen this particular commercial. It was a Mercedes commercial, and what it showed was the hare and the tortoise, a classic race. And of course, we anticipate who's going to win, of course. And you got this kind of arrogant hare, he's way out ahead and winning the race. But then there's a little plot twist, and the tortoise hops into the technology-empowered, Mercedes vehicle, and he's, flying around, of course, beating the hare, and all the bystanders are kind of cheering him on. Go, go, go! It's very exciting. And I think there's multiple characters to consider here. You have the hare, who thinks that he's, cruising along, no problem. But then you've got this tortoise, who obviously understands the technology, knows how to drive, right? And then ends up beating the hare, by a mile. And then you've got all the bystanders who are watching kind of this whole race happen. And I want you to consider, all right, am I the hare, am I the tortoise, or am I a bystander? And this is really an opportunity for us to be the tortoise with the technology. And I think that is going to be this wonderful opportunity for us to win in the real estate space moving forward. And it's also going to benefit our clients. And so right now, if I were to say, hey, what's your mobile game plan? I hope everyone thinks about this little slide here and feel like, yeah, I've got the game plan. And the game plan is I want everyone to have my app. And right now you're thinking, okay, well, why? Why does everyone need to have my app? They've got a Redfin app or they've got a Zillow app, and so why do I need to tell them to download another app? There's the Realtor app. There's a lot of apps out there, but there's only one where you're the primary point of contact on every single house, right? So I want you to think about it this way. If you gave somebody a business card, what's the likelihood that they're going to keep that business card? I mean, in reality, they'll probably throw it away, or it might be in a drawer somewhere, right? But definitely it's not with them at the time that, they've got a question about real estate, most likely. So in this case, if they've actually downloaded your app, they've got your contact information on their phone at all times, because everybody keeps their phone. In fact, they've got a very personal relationship with their phone. And even the apps that are on there, most of us know that, too many apps, it takes up space, and it's a waste of time to download the irrelevant apps. So they only want to download, right? All of us, we only want to download the most relevant app. And so we want your app to be very relevant. And here's the thing. Everybody, of course, feels that the home is so important, the value of their homes are so important, that your app should definitely stay on their phone. So number one, again, they have your digital business card with them at all times. So it's easy to, of course, contact you. They have access to every listing in the MLS. Now, here's the thing, guys. A lot of us still don't understand the concept of IDX. And IDX stands for Internet Data Exchange. What this basically means is that I can market every listing that's in the MLS, and clients will contact me through it. So in essence, right, if you look at the app and search for properties on it, you'll see that there is a small little indication as far as this listing is provided, by so-and-so company, right? It's courtesy of. And we do the same, right? For our listings, we allow other companies to have that information available. But the primary point of contact is you. So in essence, your clients have access to every single listing in the MLS, and you're like the listing agent of every one of those listings. So it's kind of a big deal. So if you have basically taken a look at a great property, it might not necessarily be your listing, but you have the opportunity to sell that listing. You would want to share that listing with all of your sphere of influence, all of your clients, and of course you can send them the links and share specifically through the app that particular home, even though it's not your listing, but you're going to be the point of contact. And we're going to talk more about that in the additional videos to come. But again, they have access to every single listing in the MLS. So in essence, it is the MLS right at their fingertips. Remember when, way back when the clients would want access to your magic, password and get into the MLS so they could have access to all listings? You're now giving that to them right here through your app. And again, you're the only point of contact, right? So that's a really powerful thing that we are giving to our clients. They have instant access to not just the buying, right, but also the marketing and pricing strategies when they're ready to buy or sell. So as you know, and you can see kind of in this image right here as well, the home page has click here to view the seller's guide and click here to view the buyer's guide. And for those of you who've been using both the buyer's guides and seller's guides, you know how powerful that is. And to empower a client right away with that information, having that accessibility where you're, again, the point of contact is very powerful. So your clients, as well as all their friends, because your clients can share that through the app as well, and of course you can as well. They have instant access to those buying and pricing strategies. And then finally, of course, they can get a quick market snapshot of what's happening in their neighborhood. Now, what I mean by this is we often think, oh, well, if you're thinking about buying a home, you should download the app. And that's not what we're saying. We're saying that everybody should have the app, right? Because everybody's curious about what's going on in their neighborhood. I mean, aren't you the same way? You drive home or you're in your neighborhood and all of a sudden you see a for sale sign go up. What are you thinking? I wonder what the house is asking. Every client thinks about that. That's why you have empty flyer boxes all the time, because, people who live in the neighborhood, they grab the flyers. They're all curious about what's going on in the marketplace. And now by having the app, they can always get that quick market snapshot of what's going on in their neighborhood. Not only is it going to show, of course, the homes that are available for sale, but also the ones that have recently been sold. And so I know just as much as the house that just comes on the market with that sign, when that sign goes down, they're even more curious. I wonder what that house sold for. So that's really important that we have our clients have this app so that they can always have that quick market snapshot. Now, not only do we want to talk about a mobile plan about everyone, we want to be much more specific first. And that's to your spheres of influence. Now, I know you've heard of Ultimate Client Relationship, and I just want you to consider the importance of how the mobile app actually works for our spheres of influence through Ultimate Client Relationship. Now, you probably know this already, but I just want to kind of remind us that on average, people move every 7 to 10 years. Now, if you had 100 people in your sphere base, 10 would move this year, 10 would move next year, 10 would move the year after that, correct? From that perspective, it's important for us to know that even though only maybe 10 people might move this year, 100% of everyone that we know want to know what their home is worth today. Especially in so many of our markets where, of course, we're hearing about all the appreciation, some places double-digit appreciation. And clients, they love to know what is happening with my home, with the value of my home. It's the Zestimate, is that correct? And we all know that the Zestimates from Zillow are incorrect. So this is a great opportunity for all of our clients, our spheres of influence, to really know what their actual home is worth. And in fact, I would go as far as to say we have a responsibility to our clients. And I think, one of the questions that came up recently in a little meeting was, what's the difference between a customer and a client? And one thing that I thought and shared was that we actually have a responsibility to a client that we don't necessarily have as much to a customer. So think about all of the clients, right, potential clients. We have a responsibility to let them know what's happening in their market today, right, in their local market, in their specific neighborhood. What's happening as far as, the homes, the pendings, the actives, the sales. So they really ought to have that market snapshot. And how great would it be if they had that tool with them at all times, which is, of course, what the GPS Home Search app does. So finally, what's the most important mobile app? And I'm not referring to our GPS Home Search app. And some of you might say, well, that would be like Google. That would be my web browser. Maybe it's Facebook. And I would actually argue it's none of those. It's actually your calendar, right? Don't you all use the calendar app on your devices? And we actually rely on that, calendar, and we probably add events and what have you. And it's really important for us to consider creating a recurring event that's ongoing to actually spend some time playing around with the mobile app. And I say playing around, right? Because it's fun. It's great to actually see what the various apps can do. But if we don't actually schedule it in, we probably won't do it. In which case, if we don't play around enough with it, if we don't spend time, we're not going to be mobile ready. Now, I've done this in the training classes that I've actually conducted, but I want everybody who's watching this video to understand what it means to be mobile ready. Mobile ready means if somebody were to say, how's the market? You ought to be able to pull out your phone, touch the mobile app icon, right? The GPS home search app icon. Your photo should be on it. You should be the branded person on that app. And you should be able to basically see what's going on in that specific marketplace right there within 5 seconds. So you are mobile ready when you're able to use the app, see exactly what's going on in the neighborhood, and say, well, here's exactly what's happening in the market. Right here, here's what's happening. There's a lot of pendings, there's a lot of solds, there's a few actives, or whatever the situation is. You are now mobile ready when you're able to indicate to somebody, here's exactly what's happening in the market. And of course, you could do it right there where you're standing, or in the areas where they live. Finally, what's the most important component about the mobile app is you now have a new best friend. Now, I know that sounds a little silly, but I mean, you can almost think about your relationship with your phone. It's very important, right? All of us have like almost this personal relationship, with our phones, and whether it's a love-hate kind of relationship, sometimes it works great, and sometimes it's, not working not so great, right? It's frustrating. Whether the battery is dying or, it's kind of lagging behind or whatever it is. But in any case, we have a relationship with our mobile devices, and I want you to start thinking about, oh, my new best friend is this URL, right, or this web address, jlsapp.com/your username, which I know you all know what your username is, right? It's the same as your email address extension. So mine would be Howard Chung. My email address is howardchung@johnlscott.com. My mobile app URL or web address is jlsapp.com/Howard Chung. And so you all have one. This is like your new best friend, because in essence, that is the path to basically get all of your clients to download your app. You even have to consider whether or not this new URL, your jlsapp.com/username, is a more important URL than your website. This is what I mean. If somebody drove by a house or they went to their neighbor and thought, oh, I wonder what this house is asking, would they go to your website right now to look it up? Probably not. But if they have your app already downloaded, wow, they can look it up immediately. So that's the kind of behavior we're really trying to create with all of our clients. That app is with them at all times. So this is your new best friend. I want to thank you for watching, and be sure to catch the additional episodes in this series.